no, I think that's actually one of the things that's so impressive, I think, about you is as I've gotten to know you, you're not just amazingly talented, you are a super hard worker. And shocker, it's more than just being a good writer, right, that makes you successful. You have to go get it.
Right, I mean, there are a lot of people out there, like particularly when you're starting off, I was awful. There are a lot of better writers. And like anything in this world, though, it's you got to chase it. You got to not just have talent. You've got to hunger to actually be a writer. And that's what I had. I wanted to be a writer. I put all of my eggs in that basket, right? Like, if I wasn't going to be a writer, I was going to be basically useless for everything. I mean, yes, I ended up getting a master's degree in English, but I remember walking that first day, we had like orientation, and the professor got up and said, here's the CV, the curriculum vitae, the thing you need, the resume basically, that you need to have in order to go get a PhD and become a professor, because these jobs are really competitive. And he talked about all the stuff you need to do, president of this student association, you need to be involved in this journal and that journal and all this stuff, and I'm like, crap, well, I'm not being a professor because I'm going to spend my time writing and I'm here to learn to write, and I just wrote and I didn't do any of that stuff. All of the other grad students are like frantically trying to get on journals and all these things, and I'm writing books. If I had not made it, like all of my eggs were in this little book basket, and if it had not taken off, I'd probably, I don't know, I'd be sweeping the floors at chair or something like that.
Well, so that's actually a good point.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So how do you, I understand the hunger when you're when you're unknown, right? You're like, you're working all night at the hotel, sitting at the desk,
front desk clerk,
writing away, right? I get that, and then I still get the hunger when it's like, okay, I published Elantris,
right?
But I really got to do Mistborn because that's what I've been dreaming of, and I'm just gonna write the 3 books and make it huge. But now that you're the hugest author ever,
I am not. George R. Martin is huger than me, both in sales and girth. Thank you very much.
But how do you keep that? How do you keep that? Is that something you even think about?
I mean, there are so many distractions now also.
Sure, exactly.
I was able to do all this, not that I put off marriage, but I wasn't married. I didn't have anyone I wanted to marry at that point. So I was, it's a lot easier to work a graveyard shift and go to school during the days and basically have no life if you don't have a family, a life. And so I have children now, and I love my kids, and I don't want to be just not spending any time with them, and there's that, and my wife and my family and all of these things. And beyond that, you get published, and suddenly it's like, it's time to do interviews. Instead of sitting and writing all day, it's let's go to chair and have a good chat, which I enjoy doing, but these things pile up, and it's like, where am I going to find the time to write? And you've got to keep that motivation, because it'd be so easy to just be like, I don't need to write a book this year, right? The money's just rolling in. I'm gonna go to Bermuda this year. And part of the reason I don't do that is because, like, I remember what it was like all those years trying to break in, and I know there are thousands upon thousands of people like who want to do what I'm doing. Right. That would just if I slack off, they're like there's these invisible people who are smacking me. They're like, you've got the best opportunity in the world. You get to actually write these things, and everyone reads them, and you're a beloved author, and everything's going really well. Use it. Don't just be like, all right, now that I've actually achieved, the start of what I want to achieve, I'll just, jump off and whatever. I mean, if you want to have a legacy as a writer, you need to actually, once you hit here, not just vanish. Because a lot of people do. They'll have they'll hit the bestseller list and they'll be around for a while, and then poof, they're gone.
Yep, exactly.
But I want to ask you, similarly, now, I would be willing to bet that as many people or more that are watching this are interested in going into video games as want to be authors. And you have lived the dream. You and your brother are like, let's start a video game company. And how many kids and their brothers say, let's start a video game company? And then, they end up modeling one character, and then, or they're like, they like, you actually said, let's start a video game company, and you did, and it worked. Like, how did that happen?
Well, I think it's like you're saying, it's just like anything. I think in life, people who really, really want things really go after them, and they work really, really hard, right? Anything that looks easy is really a lot of work, and Jeremy and I just, I get it. I look back now and go, yeah, when we were 10 years old and 12 years old saying we're going to start this company, that was 10-year-old saying we're going to start a company. I don't know where that transitioned from the thing kids say to, no, we really should do this. But it was probably in college. In college, we started to go, no, we really could do this, but...
And were you specialized even then? Like, Jeremy's going to do one thing and you're going to do the other
we
thing?
were at that point, we're like, okay, let's do this for real. And Jeremy, you need to start focusing a lot more on, because we both had a lot of similar interests, right? I'm like, Jeremy, you have to stop doing art.
And
I'm
do
a little
coding.
bit better at that, and you're better at coding, so you got to do the coding, and I'll focus on the art. And I think we were just young enough and dumb enough to go, to not realize the consequences of starting a company, and how we probably should have failed at a million different turns, and we just did it and chanced the consequences and worked really, really hard. I mean, so many hours, right, to do it.
Right.